Suggestions have been made.
Very good to have you. You're welcome.
The Federal High Court to have original jurisdiction.
Please, you may take your seats. Thank you very much.
On electoral matters. The second concern has been whether we establish a commission or a tribunal. In case of...
We'll move on to the next item. Honorable Limulu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Every day you use multiple communication channels to talk to your clients. Why not unify all?
It means that amend the Constitution.
Mr. Speaker, right on the matter of privilege, and with your kind permission, can I please
amend the Constitution?
Mr. Speaker, right on the matter of privilege.
Okay, Honorable Lumelu, Minority Leader, has a matter of privilege. What's your matter of privilege, Honorable?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yesterday there was a motion on that matter of urgent national importance as it relates to the issue of coronavirus. And in the course of the debate, Mr. Speaker, I raised an amendment to the effect that I would like the House to think of adjourning for 2 weeks for the purpose of us interfacing with our constituents, try to educate them on the scourge, as well as allowing management to put in place measures that will safeguard our visitors. So that at the end of the day, by the time we come, and I even added in that amendment that members also need to be certified, given one of our colleagues who submitted in his submission that the Italian man who was confirmed to be carrying the coronavirus happened in his own constituency. And that resulted in me raising an alarm and asking that this House think of us adjourning for this purpose of us interfacing with our people, and also giving to the fact that right now we have only 3 centers in Nigeria, one in Lagos, one in Benin, and another one in Abuja, and we have 36 states plus FCT, which is 37. So, Mr. Speaker, even when we want to talk about readiness, based on that, we do not have the readiness in place based on what is on ground. And that informed why that amendment was taken. But to my surprise, Mr. Speaker, I was so shocked when I read Daily Trust this morning. Daily Trust reported that we have adjourned and even quoted that there were crises, that people, raised dust about the fact that we have adjourned plenary with effect from today. Mr. Speaker, that is malicious. For us to adjourn, we will take cognizance of all the parameters available that will enable us to think of even adjourning. The issue of adjourning came up because we are cautious of the fact that our people who voted us into office deserve to be protected. That they deserve that whatever that must be done to ensure the life of our people who voted us into office is taken care of. That informed that amendment. But what the media reported was a shocking news that we've adjourned. But thank God today we're here. So I want to plead, if you permit me, that the media should mind the manner in which they report issues, because they mislead the public. We never adjourned plenary for 2 weeks from effective today. It was never reported, it was never stated, and yesterday adjournment was to the effect that we will resume today. So media reporting that we've adjourned was very malicious. This is my submission, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Elumelu. I believe from your point of order, it was actually, apart from you individually, it's a collective privilege of the House that has been breached as a whole. And I think we'll just use the opportunity to encourage journalists to report and report accurately, because whatever they report has the potential of either causing some form of instability or negativity in the system, throw panic into the system. I'm aware that when I heard this report, because I heard it yesterday, Honorable Carlo, the House spokesman, already put a rejoinder out there stating that that was not the case and that was not what happened. I am also aware that the House adjourned, based on the votes and proceedings that I saw, adjourned till today, this morning. And that's why we're here. You can't adjourn for 2 weeks and at the same time move an adjournment till the following morning. It doesn't make any sense. So we encourage the media to do what they need to do. To explain further, I believe the motion, based on what Honorable Elumelu said, was a futuristic motion that said meant that if need be, if it gets to that stage, the House may need to adjourn to go and sensitize their constituents and to oversight and make sure that the things that have been put in place have been put in place. There was no imminent adjournment because there's even no need for it, but it may happen in future if it gets to that stage. I don't believe that it will get to that stage. It was just for sensitization and oversight in future if there's a need to do so. So I guess journalists, please take note, but not to worry. We get this every day. It's something we have come to live with, but we will continue. We'll continue to send the right message across. It's almost, I'm sure you guys had a lot of fun, just like I did. Just a couple of days ago, I was reported to have taken 300 people to Dubai to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday. This was the same press. You know, I don't know whether it was comical or tragic, but either way, we know how these things go. So press, journalists, please take note. The House is not adjourned. The House is not adjourned for 2 weeks. We're here sitting. But if there is a need to adjourn to oversight the issue of medical preparedness for coronavirus, we will do so at that time. But right now, the House is sitting and we're doing the people's business. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Elumelu, for that correction. Honorable Salami, you have a public petition?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm Dr. Abdullah Balal Salami, member representing Badaba Ilela Federal Constituency from Sokoto. I have a petition to present to the House by one Alhaji Ali Sahabi Abba, who was defrauded 18.2 million naira through conspiracy between some criminals and some officials of Diamond Bank. So, Mr. Speaker, I crave the indulgence of Mr. Speaker to allow me to present the petition to the House. Thank you very much.
You may lay your petition, Honorable Salami. Any other petition? Honorable Kyoga.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name remains Okina Chidoka, representing Idemili North, Idemili South Federal Constituency of Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning to present a petition from my constituent, Mr. Muemena Christian Chukwemeka, who is complaining against inhuman treatment, unlawful and illegal detention, prosecution and imprisonment of Mr. Chukwemeka for 423 days against the police and immigration officers of Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates National, while on transit from Sao Paulo, Brazil to Lagos, Nigeria. This is from 2014, from 26/03/2014 to 23/05/2015. All efforts to communicate with the nationals or the authorities of Abu Dhabi has proven futile, and he has come to me to intervene in this matter, and I'm urging this Honorable House through the Public Petitions Committee to please look into this matter and make sure that we give the Nigerian national his rights. Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, may I lead the petition, please? Okay.
Okay. Any other petition? Any other public petition? Plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, sir, my name is Honorable Haruna Dederi, and I represent Kara Irogo Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State, sir. I have 3 petitions to present, sir. 2 are against the Nigeria Customs Services, 1 for unlawful dismissal of Deputy Controller, and the other one for refusal to comply with lawful orders. And the last of the 3 petitions, sir, is against Naima Nigeria Limited for acts of forgery and fraud. Mr. Speaker, sir, may I seek your leave to lay the petitions?
Honorable Plenary, please lay your petition. Any other petition? Petitions referred to the Committee on Public Petition. Any matter of urgent public importance? Is Honorable Faleke here? I believe he had a matter. Okay, he's not here. So we'll move straight on to the next item on the agenda. Honourable members, the business of the day is presentation of 19 bills. And I invite the clerk to read the short titles.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 754, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 755, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 756, first reading. Allocation of Revenue, Federation Account, etc. Act, Amendment Bill 2020, HB 757, first reading. Nigerian Independent Warehouse Regulatory Agency Establishment Bill 2020, HB 758, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 759, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 760, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 761, first reading. Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2020, HB 762, first reading. Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2020, HB 763, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 764, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, Alteration Bill HB 2020, HB 765, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 766, first reading. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, Alteration Bill 2020, HB 767, first reading. Federal University of Ndufu Alike, Eco Act, Amendment Bill 2020, HB 768, first reading. Federal Polytechnic Act, Amendment Bill 2020, HB 769, first reading. Federal Polytechnic Act, Amendment Bill 2020, HB 770, first reading. Federal College of Education Act, Amendment Bill 2020, HB 771, first reading. Procurement Integrity Bill 2020, HB 722, first reading.
First order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to provide for establishment of the Federal University of Technology, Asaba, Delta State, for the promotion and development of technical education in Nigeria, and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration. And for a little understanding, in the name of Honorable Nundudi Elumelu, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 20th of February 2020. I now invite Honorable Elumelu to move that the bill be read a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndidi Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anoche Oshimile Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. I move that a bill for an hour to provide for the establishment of Federal University of Technology, Asaba, Delta State, for the promotion and development of technical education in Nigeria, and to make comprehensive provisions for its due management and administration, and for related matters, HP 721, I so move.
Thank you, Honorable Elumelu. Honorable Elumelu has moved for the establishment of Federal University of Technology at Asaba, Delta State. Honorable Chinda, can you please second? Can you please second Honorable Elumelu's motion?
My dear colleagues, my name is Kingsley Chinda. I represent Toby Abo Federal Constituency. I'm an Ikwere man from River State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the bill for the establishment of an institution in Asaba. I so second.
Thank you, Honorable Chinda. Motion moved by Honorable Elumelu, seconded by Honorable Chinda Kingsley. Honorable Elumelu, please lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Oh, God. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, it is a great pleasure to lead the debate on the general principles of this very important bill, which seeks to establish the Federal University of Technology in Asaba, Delta State, and repeal paragraph M of the first schedule to the Federal College of Education Act Cap F8 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, which established the College of Education Technical Asaba, Delta State. Mr. Speaker, fellow colleagues, there is no gainsaying that education is the bedrock upon which great nations build their economy. Most developed nations channel substantial amount of their earnings into funding education in line with recommendations of UNESCO, which says that a minimum of 26% of the country's annual budget and 6% of the gross domestic product, GDP, should be invested in funding education. This is a straightforward bill that seeks to establish the university. The desire to create the university through legislation stems from the need to provide more opportunities and level playing ground for all to gain admission in Nigerian universities to specialize in technology-related courses. The bill, which comprises of 29 clauses and divided into 5 parts, seeks to establish the Federal University of Technology, which will be charged with the responsibility to inter alia implement training for the development of technologists in the country, measure, evaluate students, and make comprehensive provisions for its management and administration, and to repeal the College of Education Technical, Asaba. Part 1 of the bill provides for the establishment, composition, functions, etc. of the Federal University of Technology, Asaba. Part 2 of the bill provides the powers, functions of Chancellor and Pro-Chancellor, composition, tenure, and powers of the Governing Council of the University. Part 3 provides for the status of the university, mode of exercising power to make statutes and proof of statutes. Part 5 provides for the supervision and discipline, while Part 5 provides for the miscellaneous and general, and Part 6 provides for retiring age of academic staff and repeal savings transitional provisions. Mr. Speaker, it might interest you to note that Asaba is one of the few state capitals in Nigeria without the presence of a federal university, even though it is highly populated and strategically located. The College of Education Technical has facilities that can meet the standard of the university, hence the need for the upgrade. Some of the facilities include School of Vocational Studies, standard and well-equipped functional library, administrative blocks, staff quarter, lecture theater, shuttle buses, multipurpose hall, health center, technical works, building, etc. With the consideration of the above, it is my desire to present this bill, and I believe that this is a very straightforward piece of legislation, and therefore appeal for your overwhelming support, my fellow colleagues, that the bill be read for the second time and referred to the relevant committee of the House for further legislative action. Thank you, my fellow colleagues, and God bless.
Okay, I want us to move very rapidly on the order paper. We have about 13 items on the order paper, so I want us to move speedily. Is there anybody speaking against? Against the establishment of okay, Honorable Abada.
Uzoman Kimapon types my name is from Abia, a neighboring state to Delta and all that. Mr. Speaker, we've seen a very beautiful bill and done, but you and me know that equity is against double portion. Mr. Speaker, we're talking about technicality in Nigeria, not ordinary conventional education. I should ask you. Mr. Speaker, there are 3 high institutions in that domain and 2 universities. Equity is against double portion. We're talking about federal universities. Mr. Speaker, you know you have passed F1 University of Petroleum. Okay, Google Maritime University. Are they greedy? How many are they asking for? Mr. Speaker, the Chinese people converted 600 universities to polytechnics, because that's what we need now in the middle manpower to grow Nigeria. Not theoretical universities, but we need more of polytechnics, college of technical education. Therefore, we should strengthen technical qualifications and polytechnics for the growth. In Asaba, they are technical minded. The next door nature also landlocked. Therefore, I want to say that we convert one of the universities to the omnibus universities. Am I professor, Mr. Speaker? My minority leader is making me angry and hungry.
Yes, point of order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues. The premise of Mrs. Abonta's opposition was to the effect.
What order?
Order 6 Rule 2 was to...
Honorable Toby, yeah, one of the most experienced legislators here, and normally you get away with a lot of things, but I'm so impressed that your members have caught you. Now, what's your point of order?
Yes, let me come. Point of order to the effect that Abia is a neighboring state. Abia is not a neighboring state to Delta. So the premise for the opposition is flawed. Abia is not a neighboring.
Honorable Toby, I'm sure if you took your time, you will find something somehow in the rule book. Whether it's explanation, whether it's you will find something, but you have no point of order for now. So, Honorable Abonta.
Me against the two mighty minority leaders. Mr. Speaker, having said so, and in view of the ill-fated order against me, and seeing the mood of the bench, I withdraw. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so your objection is withdrawn, correct? Okay, very good. So those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. The clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to provide for establishment of Federal University of Technology, Asaba, Delta State, for the promotion and development of technical education in Nigeria, and to make comprehensive provision for its due management and administration, and for related matters. HB 721, second reading.
Okay, the bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Education. Second order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to establish Civil Societies Regulatory Commission for coordinated regulation of civil society organizations for the purpose of strengthening their capacity to promote democracy and development in the country, and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Tajuddin Abbas. Honorable members, recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 20th of February 2020. I now invite Honorable Tajuddin to move that the bill be read a second time. Honorable Abbas. Chairman Business, can you step down this bill? Honorable Abbas is not around.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Abbas is not on the floor. I move that the bill be stepped down by the leader of the House. I so move.
Bill step down. The third order of the day is commencement of a debate on the general principle of a bill for an act to establish the South-South Development Commission charged with responsibility to receive managed funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donations, grants, acts for the integration, development, resolution of infrastructural deficit, militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological and environmental problems. And for related matters, stand in the name of Honorable Awaji Yombek Abiante. Honorable members recall that the bill was read the first time on Friday, December 2019, and I invite Honorable Abiante to move that the bill be now read a second time. Honorable Abante, is there a difference in the jurisdiction of the proposed South-South Development Corporation and the NDDC? I'm sure there is, but I just wanted for clarification.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Do I clarify or I move to motion first, sir? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and my very distinguished colleagues. I remain Awaji Nombek Dagomie Abiante. I represent the very wonderful people of Andoni, Opobo, Nkoro Federal Constituency. I am a Rivers man. Arise to move that a bill for an act to establish the South-South Development Commission charged with the responsibility to receive and manage funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donations, grants, aids, for the integration, development, resolution of infrastructural deficit, militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological, environmental, and other related matters. House Bill 630 be read a second time. I so move.
Honorable Hembe, I'm inclined to call you to second. Go ahead and second. Go ahead and second. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am an MB, Constitutional Federal.
No. I withdraw my recognition. You are not on seat. It concerns Honorable Leo is going to second. Honorable Leo Ogo is going to second. Honorable Leo, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I'm Honorable Leo Kue Ogo. I represent Soko Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, and from there to state. May I second the motion ably moved by the leader of this House? May I second the motion ably moved, Mr. Speaker? My colleagues, I so second.
Thank you very much. I miss the sound of that voice. Honorable Leo and I used to spar for years. For years, he kept me on my feet. So motion seconded by Honorable Leo Ogo, I don't think there's any need to debate it. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. So anybody that wants his bill or motion to pass with the speed of light without any debate, just lobby Honorable Leo for secondment. Yes, Clark, please read the long title.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to establish the South-South Development Commission charged with responsibility to receive and manage funds from the Federation account allocation and other sources, donation, grants, aids for the integration, development, resolution of infrastructural deficit, militancy, communal crisis, as well as tackle ecological, environmental problems and for related matters. HB 630, second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Justice. Fourth order of the day is motion on reconstruction of 90.5 kilometers Lafia Lamude Karim Lamido Road in Adamawa State. Standing in the name of Honorable Beatrice, Honorable Leon Beatrice is invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
honorable members, Kwamoti Bitrus Laori, representing Numan Jamsa Lamude from Adamawa State. Mr. Speaker, I wish the House to note that the 90.5 kilometers Lamude-Karin Lamido Road has been in very deplorable condition for almost 2 decades, subjecting commuters, especially farmers and traders, to untold hardship over these years. Aware that the road which links Adama and Taraba states was constructed in 1986-87 and runs through one of the largest rice production hubs and cattle market in the northeast. Disturbed that the deplorable condition of the road is negatively impacting on socio-economic activities of the region, thus creating avoidable losses of invaluable lives and property. Also aware that no fewer than 800 to 1,000 trucks ply that road on typical market day, transporting rice and other rice products to other parts of the country. And the present condition of the road is seriously affecting business activities and frustrating the federal government's program of sustainable agriculture, local rice production, and food security in the country. Cognizant of the socio-economic importance of the road to both the national economic and those of the state it traverses, which will receive boost, generate more employment, reduce accidents, which lead to loss of lives and destruction of properties, and also improve the general well-being and security of the people of the area when the road is reconstructed. Which the House concerned that the present state of the road is negatively impacting on the socio-economic lives of the people in the communities along the stretch of the road. As important interstate link it provides for movement of persons, goods, and services across Adama and Taraba states is no longer achievable. We therefore urge the House to resolve, 1, to urge the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing to award contract for reconstruction of the Lafia-Lamude-Karin Lamido Road. 2, mandate the committees of works and legislative compliance to ensure compliance. I so move.
Any seconder? Engineer Sonibara.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Engineer Sanibala. I represent Punchi Sanya Federal Constituency from Kano State. I stand to second the motion as heavily moved by Mr. Bitrus. I so second.
Infrastructure motion. I'll put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Fifth order of the day is motion on the threat to relocate the floating dock earmarked for Okeren Koko Delta State, standing in the name of Honorable Pondi. And Pondi is invited, Julius, to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Respected honorable colleagues, my name is Julius Babus of Pondi. I represent the very wonderful people of the Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. In Zonkeme, I'm from Delta State. Threat to relocate the floating dock and mark for Koko Delta State. The House notes that there is the floating dock acquired at the cost of over 50 billion naira, which was earmarked to be located in Koko Delta State. But since its arrival in the country on 11 June 2018, the floating dock has been embroiled in a bizarre bureaucratic wrangling over where it will be located at its operational base. Also note that the turn of events surrounding the location of the floating dock arose from high-level manipulation designed to remove it from where it was originally intended to be located before it was even purchased by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency in Nimasa. The House recalled that the Krenko floating dock project was duly considered and approved by the Federal Executive Council at its 37th meeting on October 23, 2013. And the approval was conveyed to the Ministry of Transport on 29 October 2013. Also recall that the entire project was in 2 phases, involving the construction of shipbuilding facility and dockyard at Okrankuku, Delta State, maritime equipment and structure, ancillary buildings and electromechanical work and facilities, as well as civil and infrastructural works. The House further notes that since its arrival in Nigeria about 2 years ago, the dock has remained in a storage berthing space, which according to NIMASA, is currently costing $30,000 per day, which translates to $10,440 million per year, which stands at approximately $4 billion per year in demurrage charges. The House is worried that the modular floating dock, when operational, is expected to save the federal government $100 million annually and $1 billion in 10 years through direct savings from the dry docking of vessels operating in Nigeria, which is mostly done outside the country at the moment. The House is also worried that the floating dockyard, which was designed by its manufacturer based on agreed specification and with Okrankuku at its agreed permanent operational site, has now been lying idle at the Naval Dockyard in Lagos for no plausible justification other than desperate attempt to deprive away Delta State from hosting the facility at Okrankuku. Concerned, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, about attempt to review a decision that has been made on the location of the floating dock through desperate claims and counterclaims of the existence of fresh surveys and the claim being made by NIMASA about security concerns in the Niger Delta as a reason to move the floating dockyard away from Delta State, when in fact other regions of the country are also being tormented by even more scary and dangerous insecurity. Further concern that the so-called new surveys and fresh experts' advice are devices programmed to achieve a predetermined goal of taking away the floating dock to Rivers State, where both the Tribal Minister and the DG is from. Aid from Parliament should not be privy to subtle manipulation in the execution of public policies that had been settled long before the tenure of the both Minister and DG. Result, Mr. Speaker, 1. All the management of the matter to abide by all terms and conditions precedent to the acquisition of the floating dock with a view to ensuring that the dock is put into operation forthwith with Okrankuku, Delta State at its base. 2. Call on the federal government to, as a matter of most urgency, direct the installation of the floating dock at Okrankuku, Delta State, at the location that is decided upon by the government as the operational base of the maritime facility. 3. Also urge the Nigerian Navy to provide all necessary assistance, including dredging, in Delta State to enable NIMASA put the dock into use. Finally, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, mandate the Committee on Maritime Safety Education and Administration to ensure compliance. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues.
Honorable Thomas. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my name is Chief Thomas Ereitomi. I represent the people of Warri Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support this, to second this motion, heavily moved by my honorable colleague, Honorable Pondi Julius. I so support that this motion should be considered in this house, Mr. Speaker, as a support. Thank you.
Okay, this is another infrastructure motion, so I'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. What they got? You're lucky we haven't hit the gavel. What's your amendment?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for that kind protection. I'm Rapisaka Ibrahim. I'm Rapisaka Ibrahim for Imikuru Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I'm Rapisaka for Imikuru Federal Constituency, Ogun State. My amendment is premised on paragraph 4, because I'm worried with this motion. My concern is, without any prejudice, Mr. Speaker, that the money supposedly being paid by NIMASA on demerit seems why this delay and why nobody wants to pay attention. In this vein, I want to amend prayer 4 to read that mandate the Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration to investigate the demurrage being paid on the said vessel. That's the floating dock, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Herbert, do you want to second the amendment? Okay. Honorable Kaoji, do you want to second the amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Bello Kaoje, member representing Bagudo Suru Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendment raised by my honorable colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I so second.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Further amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Gogo Bright. Tamuno is my name. I represent Okrika Ogubolo Federal Constituency. I am from Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, the last paragraph, I want to move that we expunge the last paragraph, which reads that further convinced that the so-called new survey and fresh expert advice are devices programmed to achieve a predetermined goal of taking away the floating dock to Rivers State because the transport minister and the Dimasa DG are from Rivers State. I think that paragraph presupposes that we have taken a decision already. We are referring this matter to the Nelson Committee to comply. I think that paragraph should go off. And if the reason for the movement is insecurity in the South-South, Rivers State is equally on the same zone. So I think that paragraph does not come in. We should expunge and allow the committee to do the needful. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Usman, you moved the amendment. Any seconder? You want to second that amendment? Okay, second.
Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, I am Chinyere Igwe. I represent Port Harcourt 2 Federal Constituency of Rivers State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the amendment as proposed by the last speaker, my dear brother and colleague. I so second.
Those in support of the amendment, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Those in support of the motion as amended, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Sixth order of the day is motion on need to investigate the non-compliance with the federal government transparency and open treasury policies, standing in the name of Honorable. Is Honorable Kuya here? Honorable Kuya is not here. Chairman, Business and Rules. Chairman, Business and Rules. Please step down. Item number 6. Honorable Kuya is not here.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that item number 6 on the order of paper be stepped down by the leader of the House because the mover of the motion is not on the floor. I so move.
Motion step down. Seventh of the day is motion on need to address the incessant kidnappings in Kogi local government area of Kogi State. Standing in the name of Honorable Isa Shaba Ibrahim. Honorable Ibrahim is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I am Shaba Ibrahim. I represent the people of Kogi, Lokoja Kogi Federal Constituency. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, I am from Kogi State. Your Excellency, this motion is about the need to address the incessant kidnappings in Kogi local government area of Kogi State, particularly on the ever-busy Abuja-Lokoja Federal Highway. I wish the House to note, sir, that the security and welfare of the people is the primary purpose of government, as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999. I also wish that this House should note that Kogi local government is situated on the ever-busy Lokoja-Abuja Highway, which is very strategic, considering the status of Abuja as the nation's capital city. Also aware, sir, that as a result of the alarming rate of kidnapping, killings, and armed banditry in that area, more than 45 people who at the time of this motion gruesomely murdered in over 84 cases reported between March 17 and December 5, 2019. As about 25 people were reportedly kidnapped between Ahoko village and Adabo along the same highway. And in January 2020, more than 96 people were kidnapped and 12 out of the number lost their lives, including a teenager. Also aware, Mr. Speaker, that farming activities in those areas that are largely agrarian are at the lowest ebb because of the fear of attack from kidnappers by the villagers, and killings have become perpetual events, as such incidents are recorded on a daily basis. Mr. Speaker, aware that on the 3rd of January 2020, in Tawari village alone, more than 21 people were brutally killed by unknown gunmen, leaving about 100 others hospitalized, while Beji village of the same local government area was completely destroyed. Further note that there are spots, Mr. Speaker, on the highway that are terribly bad and have become dens for kidnappers to flourish.